What I'm about to share with you might be triggering for some people, and I just want to set the intention that I transmit this with love, because we're all just doing the best we can with what we know, and mental health is something that has followed me around my whole life. Last year for Mental Health Day, I did an article called From Psychiatric Hospital to International Speaker, and it was all about my journey with mental health, with being sent to a psychiatric institution when I was a kid. So when I was age 10, I was sent to a children's psychiatric unit for 6 months, and I was in there with severely mentally ill children who were schizophrenics and bulimics and self-harming, and it was a very challenging experience. Mental health is something that is very dominant in my family as well, so without naming anybody, in my immediate family we have people with schizophrenia, with PTSD, with depression, bipolar, a whole range of mental health issues. And I think people just, in my view of the world, they just don't really understand what mental health really is and how we can really support people, because I think the way we're supporting people now is we are covering up symptoms instead of getting to the cause of why the mental health issues are there in the first place. People take a lot of pills, a lot of medications, and you can be on antidepressants for your whole life, but it never really gets to the root cause of why it's there. And that's what I want to talk about today, because people don't really share this stuff. So I'm going to just be really open and honest and real with you, because that's how we help shift things. If we all open our hearts, if like, most people have suffered some kind of mental health issues, or they know somebody who has, it directly affects us. And by us talking about this, by us sharing about this, we release the stigma. It's the stigma, that shame, that guilt, that fear that people are going to judge you, that exacerbates these things. So why is so many people in the world mentally ill? Why do they have mental health issues? And why are those numbers increasing? I really believe that it's Jim Carrey talks about how when you are depressed, it means you need deep rest from this character that you are portraying. You need deep rest from this life that you've created that is not serving you. Most people are in jobs that they don't like. They dread waking up in the morning. They spend most of their life doing something that not only they don't enjoy, but actually makes them feel bad. And they wonder why they're sad. Most people live in a society where there are people literally homeless on the streets, and you have to walk past that every day, especially here in London. Every day you're walking past these people, and we're in a system that is fundamentally broken. And you wonder why you might have negative thoughts. And we live in a world where it's normal for people to eat dead animals. Like, we're eating dead animals every day. We're consuming the suffering. So when you kill an animal, it releases these hormones into the animal. It releases these chemicals. And we take in that suffering. We take in that fear. And when cows, especially, they take their calves away, they get PTSD. We ingesting that PTSD energy is transferred to us. It's called transference. And we wonder why we're so sick. But then we have the other side of it. A lot of what people class as mental health issues, really, are they? So one of my family members was made to take Ritalin, and he just had loads of energy, and they called it ADHD. They said there was something wrong with him because he couldn't focus. And so they medicated him, but really, he was just amazing at sports. He had so much energy to do things. But we call that a mental illness. Or people with dyslexia, who maybe they can't read or write so fast, they get called slow, they get called retarded, they get put in special classes at school when really they just have a different kind of genius. And we wonder why so many people have mental health issues. And I really believe we can change all of this around just by communicating more. I really believe we can turn all of this around by being more open, by being more honest. Yes, we need to educate people. Education, you know, we have the internet now. It's such a powerful tool, and I can make a video like this and thousands, maybe millions of people around the world can see this. And if more of us do this, if more of us share our truth, if more of us share our story, maybe we'll see that it's not just us. I used to work in a big corporate. I can see one of the people who I used to work with has just come online now. I would say in that office there were 2,000 people. I'd say most of them were depressed or showing symptoms of depression. I'd say many of them had mental health issues. Why are we doing things that we don't want to do? Why are we in this system? And how can we shift it? Because you don't have to be. I believe this life is a game. I believe this is like a big movie and you get to choose. There's so many stories of people who came from nothing and they became everything, right? Who came from really challenging families and they decided that wasn't for them anymore. But at the same time, there's a great story of the two brothers whose dad was an alcoholic. All their life their dad drank. And so one of the brothers, he never drank in his whole life. And someone said, why have you never drank? He said, well, my dad was an alcoholic. How could I possibly drink? And the second brother, whose dad drank every day, he became an alcoholic. And someone said, why did you become an alcoholic? And he said, my dad drank every day. What else could I become? So the same situation for the two different people, they had two different responses. Now, substance abuse is so easy, right? We can smoke, we can drink, we can overeat, we can have sex. Like, it's all available to us and it's really accessible. And so when we're not feeling great because we're in this system that is honestly just a mess, it's easy to suppress our feelings instead of really feeling them. And this World Mental Health Day is about suicide prevention. When I was in university, a lot of my friends did drugs, partied a lot, and I'm always very dependable in an emergency. So I remember one time I had to literally bandage my friend's wrists up. And I remember another time one of my friends took an overdose of pills and we had to go get her stomach pumped. I don't want to create this feeling of bleak and doom because the world is beautiful, but we just don't see the beauty. Most people don't see the beauty. They're so busy looking at the news and the media, which feed you all this fear stuff. But open your eyes, open your hearts. Like, if you are not feeling good right now, there are people who want to help you. Like, reach out, message me. Like, I have so many friends who are coaches. I have so many friends who are healers. Like, we can help you. And if it's to go and get a therapy, great. If it's to go find an energy worker, great. Get connected with yourself. There's such a lack of connection in this society that most people live in. I'm so blessed to be in a community where we support and we love each other, and I genuinely have friends where I can tell them anything. And not so long ago, I was just in bed and I got this thought, it was a suicidal thought. And so straight away what I did is I messaged one of my friends and I said, hey, I just had this suicidal thought. It just came up. I just want to voice it. When we hold on to these things and we internalize them and we keep going around and we loop and loop and loop about it, this just creates more and more and more of that tension. And so my invitation to you, people watching this, share your story. Whether you do it on videos like this, whether you do it one-on-one, like, tell people about your journey. Let's make mental health a normal conversation. You know, if someone breaks their leg, tell everybody about how they broke their leg. But if someone has a mental breakdown, for some reason we find that shameful. And I'm really excited for us to create a world together where that doesn't happen anymore. And I'm really excited for us to be able to tell our bosses, hey, do you know, actually I'm having a bad mental health day today and I really feel like I need to take some time. And I would love for us to live in a world where we educate children about meditation, and we teach children how to feel their feelings, and we teach young boys and young girls that their emotions are a superpower, and that their dyslexia is a superpower, and that what their ADHD means they have loads of energy, so they're going to be really great at building stuff and very active, and instead of giving them drugs and saying that they're wrong just because they don't fit in the box that society has created. And I'd love to live in a world, and for us to create this world where we don't harm other beings for a pleasure, where we don't eat death and suffering and PTSD, where we're not consuming for the media. The media is death, destruction. Like, I don't watch the news anymore. Turn that stuff off. Whatever you feed into your subconscious mind becomes your reality. I have an amazing friend who his favorite show in the whole world is EastEnders. And in EastEnders, it's all like heartaches and betrayal. And so that's what his life became. Be really careful about what you put in your subconscious. Find great people that you can be open with. There are so many of them. If you don't know where to start, please message me. Please come connect, hang out with us. We have a beautiful community. There's so many of them. You do have to take a step though. You do have to reach out to someone and just let them know that you need help, and you'll be surprised how kind people are. I know most of you watching this are really kind, beautiful people. And I'm so blessed to have this amazing circle and platform. And I hope that you got something from this. And if you know anybody who is suffering right now, maybe you just share this with them so they know that there's nothing wrong with them. And of course, you have cases of severe mental illness where it's difficult to manage yourself, and you might be a danger to yourself and you might be a danger to others. And I'm not discounting that. That does definitely happen. It can get very dark. Find people that can accept your darkness. Find people that you can share your shadow with, and everything changes. Because we all have it. Most of us just pretend that we don't. So like I said, reach out to a therapist, reach out to a healer. If you don't know one, contact me. I can share so many great people with you. And I just want you to know that wherever you're at right now is perfect. Because all movies, all games, all stories, they have lows, they have drama, and it's the hero overcomes the drama, and that's where the magic is, right? Think about your favorite movie. What would your favorite movie be like if there was no drama in it, if there's no challenges to overcome? This is, if you're in a low right now, you're just in a challenge, and if you stick through it, if you reach out, if you learn the lesson, you'll overcome it. Life is a wave. We have ups, we have downs. Feel your feelings. Make great connections. Share your story. I love you. I'm here for you. Message me if there's anything I can do to help. And maybe share this with just one person. And let's create a ripple across the whole world.